Welcome everyone. This is Evelyn. How are you guys doing? I'm a little bit sleepless, but I'm good. I just went out for a jog, but if I'm not speaking perfectly, you know why. And let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths first. I have some really good information for you today. I have my big read on the table. I have a mixed read from my Shaman Dreams and my Nature Whispers decks, as well as a short Metatron read from this morning. So let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths. If you want to pull that white light in through your crown, you can pick any color you want actually. If you want to bring in green for physical healing, or pink and gold for compassion, white light for purity, just pull that in through your crown like a beam of light, wrap it around your heart, and then just let it diffuse out into your chest, into your head and your arms, into your fingertips and your legs, into your toes. And then out to your etheric body, out to your home, out to your neighborhood, out to the state. And you can go as far around the world as you'd like, or a specific person or place as well. So let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath with a smile on your face. Okay, sending lots of blessings out to you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. Okay, this past couple of days, actually the past couple of weeks, people are just disappearing. And not because of anything bad, but just people perhaps I've worked with for years and years and years, all of a sudden are just dropping off the face of the planet, or not getting back. There are people who will always get back to, or really responsible, all of a sudden not showing up. And yeah, those kind of energies coming up. So let's see what else is coming up for you guys. I'm going to roll the die, and then I'm going to get right into this first read. There's some cool information that came up through that. Today is the 7th. Yesterday was the 6-6 portal energies. So yesterday was the Lovers and the Moon. Today is the Sun and the Chariot. So, and it's beautiful here. It's very cool outside. The sun was out more earlier, but it's still beautiful outside. The temperature's perfect, and there's a nice little breeze. So out in the sun, I took some pictures of the sun this morning as well. Oh, and this too, look, this is a knot from the new piece of wood I had to replace in my deck. And look how beautiful that knot is. How beautiful is that? So you never know what you're going to find, every day. All right, let's see what the dice have to say for us. So the Chariot. So, and I'm getting a lot of fixed energies that are just coming up. So the Chariot might actually be expressing that reversed energy, kind of like that stuck or lazy kind of energy, or a little frustrated that you can't move forward. But it can also be upright and bold and pushing that energy forward. So it may be different for everybody today. But again, with the sun, so illuminating things completely, perhaps out in the sun, having fun or vacation, or just with a Leo or kids or pet type of energy there. What do the dice have to say? I was just getting a lot of Aries coming up too. The 2 of the High Priestess or Higher Self and the Divine Feminine, the 1-to-1, the polarity as well. It's also the High Priestess for me is Pisces. It's also February, which is Aquarius going into Pisces. We have Aries here as well, which I just said I was getting a lot of Aries this morning. And then here is the North Node in Taurus. So again, fixed energy with Taurus. Aries is that rammy energy. I was getting moodiness today, just a little while ago. And then the Pisces energy, which is interesting too, because I just got off the phone with my daughter, who's a Pisces. So we got that. Actually, I think she's got Aries rising too. And she's got Taurus too. Okay, so if you have my daughter in your energy right now, normally it's wonderful. But I don't know if there's a little bit of moodiness today. So let me know how it's working out for you. So we get the sunshine and the chariot, which could be really powerful forces to go forward as well. So from this this first read, I just turned my phone off accidentally. This first one is from, I used 3 decks, I think. Sorry, I'm still not used to my phone yet. All right, so we have the Shaman Dreams. This read, the Nature's Whispers. Oh, just the 2 today. Okay, so Shaman Dreams. This is the underlying energy, and then the way they came out, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. And then this is the Nature's Whispers deck. And this is the underlying energy here, and the way they came out. So 3, and then the 2 over here, and then 2, 3, and 2. The way they came out. And I want to bring it up a little bit closer so you can see some of these pictures, because some of them have a lot of details in them. Okay. So the first cards that came up, and this was at 11:15 to 17 when I first pulled the Shaman Dream deck. The first card there is the Will-o'-the-Wisp, the 62, which is that imprisonment card or release, depending on your perspective. But in the hand flew out along with the Dust Devil, as the underlying energy is the crossing again, which is that one piece of wood, like half a tree, you know, as a bridge. That came out in the underlying energy the other day as well. The energy of the crossing with that Page of Swords, which is the message, again. And then the Covenant of the 7, which is the Chariot, and the Sacred Contract. So the 52 of the Queen of Swords came up, straddling worlds or wandering between realms, and the 27 of the Ace of Wands with the heart home and inspiration and compassion there. So the crossing and initiation with the message of the Page of Swords. There's no contract here in the underlying energies. So literally you can write your own story. There's no contract, and in and out of 3D, 5D, kind of straddling the fence. So perhaps you can't put it in writing because you're just doing it as you go. The 52-7 of the Queen of Swords was coming up as the War Widow, the Divine Feminine in the masculine as the Chariot ascending at 11:24, which is Justice and the Queen of Wands, with one piece of wood with a message on it, which I just showed you the knot from my one piece of wood I had to replace, which was coming up in the cards as well. The cards are coming up very literally these days. And then time out right there as well. So I went outside to take a few pictures right at that point of the knot that I just showed you in the one piece of wood with the sparkles at 11:44, which is Justice and the 4 of Cups, grounding, integrating, and mastering of receiving of love, and perhaps some gifts sometimes. And someone wasn't responding at that time as well. One piece of wood bridges imprisonment or releases it. The treasures hidden in the shadows. And what will you find today? A sparkling green knot, perhaps? At 11:52 is Justice and the Queen of Swords, which also can be a Libra Queen of Swords. In the hand is the energy ball, an energy heart-shaped ball of gold, which, by the way, that the screw in the knot picture looks like a heart. In the hand, an energy heart-shaped ball of gold with the universe as your partner. Play with that mold, the chaotic ray of light from the sun, and what will you do with it? Putty in the hand, kicking up the dust devil spiraling up to move you out of stagnation, the dance of the shadow and the light, the glittering in the contrast, where all that glitters is gold, perhaps a bit of sweeping, the perfect storm of 44, that grounding, integrating, and mastering of receiving of love, or perhaps going to the gym. How to receive love, the courage to step into life, as the crow called earlier here, and the eagle was coming up again. The eagle peacock card was coming up here on the twisted wood with swirls of orange and yellow light that matches their eyes, cooking up something in their heart. The Shoko rays, perhaps, and number 9, imprinted physically and etherically next to it. As a feather drops out and floats to the ground, the curious stranger, the Knight of Swords, assesses the emotional damage, losing their usual focus and tunnel vision as light escapes him, shaping random directions at 12:02, which is the Hanging Man and the higher self, scattered and thinking about emotions previously unwilling to dive into. The Queen of Swords inspired to a message as the Page of Swords, as the Knight of Swords may be playing with fire here. Crown games with right use of power, Space Cadet, and the dance on, that's me today, and dance on the bridge on the journey of the jeweled web, the 32 of the journey, and the connectivity of the 5 in communication, freedom, expansion, and change. To closing the door, completion. And then when I saw that closed door, I was thinking to myself, well, maybe I'll find my earring I can't find by one of the doors that's closed. That's the message I was getting. And I did find something sparkly by my closed door at the fridge, but it was a piece of glass. It wasn't my earring. I'm like, oh, but at least I found the piece of glass to throw it away so it wouldn't hurt somebody. So, sometimes your messages are very literal, so follow them sometimes to see what you might find. At 12:10 is the Hanging Man and the 10 of the Destiny. And then I was getting, I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I'll love you for 1,000 more. So that was coming up. And then at 12:11, done with the crown jewels. At 12:12, 2 hanging out, and ornamentals. As I put down the pattern of the numbers again, as the underlying energy were 4 cards, and then 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, with 0 at the end, because I had no cards to count in this deck anyway. So the 40 was coming up there on either side, which is the Page of Cups and that sweet love. And then the 1, 2, 2, 3, which is the 12 of the Hanging Man with the King of Wands. And then the 11 of Justice /2, which is the way 11 is written, 11/2, which is also the High Priestess and the Divine Feminine. So done with the crown jewels here with the Hanging Man and Justice or alignment. At 12:12, the balancing of the ornamentals, closing the door of power and freedom connection, the journey of greased lightning, that 8 and 5, the greasy wheels and the washed hands, and all that jazz. And at 12:14 is the Hanging Man and the Temperance card of patience, balance, and taking one step at a time off that beaten path, as the deep diver is destined to dive right in, jellyfish or not, the Divine Feminine willing to swim in those deep emotions where others fear to travel or tread. And the 58 comes up here of the 4 of Swords, that 5D connection, or taking a rest, a break, or sleeping, the calm before the storm. As the mirror shatters here, the vanishing mirror, which is ego sublimation. Looking into a mirror is a poor substitute for the picture of a portal that it actually is. The plasma ether water ball entrance, turning water into wine. The face you see is the actual illusion, the power ball. Now that's something to step into to get to the other side. Reflecting back and forth rapidly is vibration getting higher and higher until it's all a wash. Catching up to the speed of light and sound ain't no easy task for a human at 12:21, the hue of a man. At what level does glass shatter? From science.howstuffworks.com. In a regular conversation, you're at 50 to 60 decibels, where 105 decibels breaks glass, and glass is just metal behind glass, or a mirror rather, is just metal behind glass, because mirror is what we used to use for our reflection or looking in a pond. until they started making mirrors, which only happened apparently about 400 years ago. Tempered glass requires a complex web of stress lines from Hunker.com. They put vinyl between the glass pieces bonded on either side, and the heat differences is what causes the crack in the glass, right? If one part of the glass is hotter than the other. And again, coming back to the lost in space energy, not needing the mirror, that the mirror is, it's like an artificial intelligence of the actual portal, of the plasma ether ball that you see in a portal, with that kind of oily type of look to it, like an illusion, like you were in the desert. It's that kind of energy coming up here. The 1235 of the Hanged Man and the Wounded Warrior, needing direction with the weight of the world, hard work, working out, or just too heavy, and letting go and floating up, needing direction when there's no longer gravity, no longer something holding you down. And then what? Many masks of the Queen of Cups, 38 here. As the Queen of Cups fades away into nothingness, again, as the vibration gets higher, she disappears from view, along with the 3D world and the authentic self here. Atlas and Hercules, or Hercules, which is her harvest, only taking over for Atlas when the world gets very light, and it makes it very manageable job for her at that point. So as she gets her vibration really high, then holding the weight of the world isn't such a big deal, because it's a light ball now, or a light bulb, and that's when she can take it over for the Divine Masculine. So at 1246 is the Hanging Man and the inner children, or outer children, loving each other. And that's when I pulled the Nature's Whispers deck, which was the underlying energy of 4 cards, and then 3, 2, 3, 2. So that, again, here's the 32 of the Fool's Journey twice, and also the 23 in the center, which is the King of Wands, with the 24 being the 24 cards that they made me count. So here we have the, and then I'm getting Count Dracula from the Sesame Street, because the Count used to come to get Rapunzel to let down her hair. And we have the King and Queen of Wands here on the journey, 2 journey people, and the counting of 24 cards. I am the Count. Rapunzel, let down your hair. I'm trying to remember the way he said it. My son kind of like memorized like all of the words to all of the Muppet movies and that kind of stuff. We had a lot of fun watching them together. So the underlying energy here is the 2 of illumination, the 44 of seeking beauty, the 47 of synchronicities and choices and heaven in your eyes and laughter there, and the 43 of the 3 of Cups coming together, and that love matters. The High Priestess, or higher self, in transformation of illumination, the butterflies and the moon. So again, there's that energy of the swirls of colors, like an oil, like the plasma ether portal instead of the mirror. The complex colors and the gossamer wings. Happy birthday. And this is so interesting, because the Venetian came up here, but not as in the country Venice, but as in the Venetian energies, like the casino and Vegas. And Vega was also coming up. But later, somebody was, actually it was Jen McCarty when she did her meditation yesterday. She was talking about Venus, and instead of saying that, she said Venusian, but then she said Venetian, which is, Italian or Venice. So it was just interesting, because I was getting Venice but thinking Venus, and she was saying Venus, or saying Venetian but meaning Venusian, right, for Venus. It's just funny how they were coming together. There's definitely a parallel there. And the so that energy of how beautiful it is in the Venetian casino with the waterways, like it is in Venice, but is coming up as that perfect place, right? Like that casino place, like Vegas. But Vega was coming up, and I meant to look up Vega to see if anything came up around Vega, but you can look that up if you'd like. As the deers have been eating my roses, the white moths have been frolicking together, dancing in twos, and make a wish in the 10, 11, 12 candles, which is the 6D, right? 1, 2, 3 is the 3D, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12 is the 6D of instant manifestation, as the dear one wants your attention. She floating in the plasma borealis in cities of old, grounding, integrating, and mastering the receiving of love and seeking beauty and laughter with children, horses, and fairies. At 12:56, the Hanging Man and the Two of Swords, of being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear. And the roses and rose people wrote the name Rose was coming up here as well. But again, the dear one eating my roses. So some more roses grew back, and the deer came by again and ate my roses. And then my other rose bush, all the flowers were dying because the insects like to eat the leaf, the one that's close to my house. The other one's out by the curb. The deer is eating the flowers, and sometimes the deer will come up on the lawn and eat the flowers. So anyway, I'm trying to grow my roses. So synchronicities, choices, and variety, and heaven in your eyes, celebrating another year and seeing the beauty in the laughter, the children, and the inner children, your own inner child, and coming together in joy that love matters, as she connects with other worlds and ships that look like birds. So there's definitely, the guides are definitely bringing this stuff in constantly in a poetic way in my reads, but they're referring to the ships that are sitting out there around the earth, just watching out for us, taking care of stuff. They can't do our work on the planet, but they can protect the planet from the outside, to make sure everything's going okay. And there's always good news coming in. Keep your vibration high. Remember, there's nothing to fear. It's all an illusion. When something comes up that triggers you, or maybe a little bit triggering to you, remember to come back to the present moment again, that it's all good. And you know that. So it's just practice, just like anything. Practice makes perfect, but you don't have to be perfect. You're perfectly imperfect. So as she connects with the other worlds and the ships that look like birds coming in, other planes of existence, and neon white lights taking you to other places, like shooting stars and seeing auras everywhere, as the old pirate ship sails away through the old marshes, which is like the 3D world. And then I was getting, it's a whole new world. At the bottom of that, the 24 group, at the bottom of it all is that 41 of the Ace of Cups of self-love, spiritual love, and new love, and being in service, doing what you love and being able to help others at the same time. As she feeds her seahorse, which also can reference as Pegasus, since Pegasus came up the other day, changing into the unicorn instead, right? Refusing his father and forgiving his name, or forgiving his, I forget what it is, whichever way it is. But Pegasus, refusing to be who he's not. And the angelfish nearby, as the coral reefs get some color back in their faces, able to receive the light of the sun again. So again, they're telling us that the seas have done a lot of healing. After land girl needs to catch her breath on the shadow side, going back into the water to clear her head and hang in the shells and and corral, like the coral, and corral for a while. At the top of this pile is the 27 of the Ace of Wands of that inspiration, maintaining your childlike spirit, swinging from the tree when there's no light in the woods. The mother wanting to give you peace, nestled in her arms at the trunk, so sitting under a tree. And the renewal of peace there with number 13 in transition. With a perfect setting and the number 9, or the hermit, for when you wake. The hermit to paint a pretty picture as the sun sets just for you. At 110, which is the magician and the wheel of fortune, again, destiny, of the 25 of the Knight of Wands, and keep your dreams alive, as that blue-faced little girl reminds you, as she blows you a kiss, to pull out your crystal and connect with Jupiter. And the number 49, which is getting your wish, heightening your vitality here and getting your wish. Oh, benevolent one, of colors and swirls against your brown earthy robe and fuzzy hair, remembering who you are. At 113, the magician and the transition, or the change, death, transformation, dark night of the soul, as the old guard is taking a break. And that movie came up. And so there may be some South Africa energies coming up there from Charlize Theron. So the old guard came up taking a break, as it was the old guard's coming up as Ganymede and orange at its core. It has an iron core. So from the solar system nasa.gov, the image of the dark side of Ganymede came up by Juno's stellar reference unit, and it was referencing, the picture was, the date was 6/7/21, which is actually today. It was just last year, exactly a year ago today. Oh, you just reminded me, it's my nephew's birthday today. I have to say happy birthday. So the 6/7 of today, which is also the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the humble, loyal servant. Ganymede was a beautiful boy carried to Olympus by Zeus or Jupiter, depending on Greek or Roman, disguised as an eagle, the cupbearer of the Olympian gods, and completes its orbit around Jupiter every about 7.155 Earth days. And of course, the Jupiter takes about 12 years to go around our sun. So for every time Ganymede goes around, the other moons, Io and Europa, which are on the same track as Ganymede, so to speak, Ganymede will go once, Europa twice, and then Io will go around Jupiter 4 times. They are all in resonance together, and they're like our moon, where the same side is always facing Jupiter, like ours is always facing the Earth. But unlike moons, Ganymede has an aura, or magnetosphere, and again, it's coming up as having an orange iron liquid core. And the aura pictures of Ganymede show blue and touches of white. And again, they talk about that reflecting the oceans inside, which we know there are oceans there, but they talk about just, suspecting the oceans are there. But the crows came up at this point too, at 121, as we're talking about the eagles, and about Ganymede being disguised as the eagle, as the crows started talking outside at 121, which is the magician and the world. And then at 136, which is the magician and the Atlas energy of the weight of the world. So we're looking at Jupiter, which has that orangish tone to it, and Ganymede, which is orange at its core. So again, reflecting as within, so without. Ganymede today in the chaos of growth. To be spontaneous, reach out and touch someone. The 26 of the Page of Wands, be true to your heart, O natural. Inspired to the higher ground, and the number 20 here, which is about the wake-up call, but it can be judgment as well. Even if the deer eats your big, beautiful roses, rise above it, without judgment of it. It just is. Or replant your bush on higher ground. At 140, which is the magician and the Page of Cups. And then the number 40 came up. Again, the Page of Cups. That pure, innocent love. Show your support to those roses who lost their heads, or the little fairies who actually stole them. Not the deer. The birds bear witness to that. To the man in the canoe as well. So don't blame the deer. It might not be them. The Page of Cups is sending a loving message to stellar jays and bluebirds of happiness, where the river runs through it. And the 19 of the sun, shifting your energy to the sun ship that you are, having or hovering over the valley and the water below. The 37 of the King of Cups in unconditional love and the ideal course of action of that King of Cups. The King of Cups and Page of Cups now here as the father and son, and the sun between them, paving a way or path to the castle, perhaps Disney World or Florida, and wishes coming true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. They're all waving you onward from down the lane. Hey, over here, just look. You said to build it, so they did, and now are expecting you to arrive. Crowds are coming in from miles around as she sits in another dimension, in the plasma perhaps, and the pink sun. Excuse me, the plasma borealis floating on a leaf, all vulnerable and going with the flow, floating down that borealis river. A nap perhaps, and a pink sun. In the energetic exchange, away from the city lights, as the King of Wands, 23, you are worth it, as she lights her own 7 candles at the beach where the empty canoe sits, and the ships coming in. She hangs on a tree branch, the swing from which this all started. It looks like someone is there with her, but just out of our view, appreciating the sunset together, flowing over the horizon, a show just for 2. At 2:02, perhaps 2 masters of love and emotions and energy and passions. Okay, so that was the first read from yesterday, and then the read from today. And this was interesting too. I don't usually like to get into the series on Netflix because I don't want to be, staying up late, which I did. I didn't sleep last night, and it's not because I watched all night. If I stay up past a certain time, sometimes I just can't sleep. But 2 summers came up. It was very interesting. And talk about wounds. It was great to watch. And I actually watched the whole series from the time I started till the time I went to bed. So it wasn't that long a thing. But a very interesting, who done it? Who did this and what is I liked the way they peeled the layers back and everything unfolded, and there was a lot of wounding that came up in that. It was in a really cool way. It was very entertaining to watch. So then right before I did this too, before I went to bed last night, I was actually 3:14. The energies of abuse. So for me, abuses that I've experienced, including sexual abuses, were coming up from that show, as well as the Pisces was coming up, as well as some names, and they have nothing to do with the abuse, but the names were coming up very interestingly because they were paralleling with other things like birthdays and things like that, as well as the sign parallels were coming up too, as well, for the names of Scott and Brian and Jeff as well. And Pisces was coming up with that as well. And then 3:14, which is Pisces, and Pi, which is that human balance perfectly, but not doing the dance. So here's my Metatron read from today, the 7 of the Chariot and the 19 of the Sun. So very much about bringing up rape, abuse, assault, and those who justify or lessen the crime or try to downplay it, so that they don't have to carry the guilt or take responsibility, again, for people who didn't do it but didn't stop it either, who actually were present. And that was coming up in the show. So, and how important it is, right? If you hide it, it's eventually going to come out. Oh my gosh, it's 3:14 on the clock again. How crazy is that? So again, bringing up that secrets will come out. They will find their way out. And everyone can deal with it if you wait 30 years and then it all comes up. Of course it's going to be a mess, but if you deal with it as it comes, even as difficult as it might be, or even as hard as it might be for you to do or give to someone else, because it might hurt their feelings or feel like you're ruining their life, but it's not, because ultimately it wasn't supposed to work out that way. So you're giving them the chance to grieve it now and get it over with, instead of creating more wounds down the road. So it's so important to be open and truthful and loving at the same time, even when it's difficult, okay, especially when it's difficult. And allow someone to be upset with you, or allow them to walk away, which for many of us is a very hard thing to do. But it's okay. And that's why you're learning to be able to be happy on your own. So you aren't afraid to be in your truth. Because many people are afraid to be alone, so they don't sorry, I'm trying to fix my mic here. So they don't speak their truth. But if you can find your way to self-love, then you're always confident in your truth. I think I got it now. and then you're good. All right, so this Metatron read was at 5:16 this morning when I never woke up. I was up all night. I was in bed for a while, but I never fell asleep. The 5:16 is the Hierophant and the 16 of the Tower. Of course, freedom, change, and expansion with the 5, and then the 16 of the Tower event. Lots of cards came out in this read too. So here's the Metatron read. More than even usual, because a lot of cards have been coming out, but even more so than usual. So this is the underlying energy. This is the bottom of the deck. And they came out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And usually I do the 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which makes it 21, including the underlying energies. But another card came out here, so it ends up being 22 cards up here, and then a whole lot of extra cards down here in the addendum for the read. Okay? So from the Metatron deck, with lots of cards, the bottom of the deck was the Void, the Om, A-U-M, and then space, which is like 0, that source energy to fill that space, and the 48, which is the walking away and within. And the elements that came up were water and air were very significant in this read. They're the first 2 cards in the underlying energy before the Void. And the colors that came up, we had yellow, actually red, orange, yellow, I'll go in order, green, blue, indigo, lilac, and then silver and gold. Look at that. We really have all the colors. All of them coming up to complete the rainbow. Wow, that was kind of perfect. I didn't realize they were all out there like that. So at 5:24, which is again freedom, change, expansion, it's also the Hierophant, so there could be Taurus energy coming up, and the 24 of the Queen of Wands, a fiery energy. Water, the dolphin, the crystal, and the sun. The vehicles of your emotional well-being. The air, birds, and the diamond light transition of the wind beneath your wings. The Om of the A-U-M, and then space for source. I'm walking away and within to retreat, rest, and pause in the void. The union and the symbol of that 30 with the arc and the crown on top of the Om, and the purple moon. The first card out being the Akashic Records, and open a book. So I did. I opened this, and I actually opened this book because of a download I got in doing one of your reads. And I wanted to see, I was getting a person. I wanted to see if there was a picture of the person, the author in this book, but I couldn't find a picture of him that I could see anyway. So here's the book, Alone Through the Forbidden Land by Gustav Christ. And I opened it up to page 192. I'm going to show you the picture. So this is the picture that it opened up to, this page and this picture, and they're actually looking for gold here. And then the next 2 pages were all about skinning the lambs, the skinning of the lambs, right? But in a very loving way. They were showing the way the people were being very kind to the lambs. I mean, these were just little babies that she was taking to the slaughter. But you see how, she's holding them and talking to the mother there. So what it said here was through Uzbekistan, on page 193 was that picture of washing the gold on the Zarafshan with a tray. And then the other pictures, the lambskin pictures, and this is what it said on that page: the method of extracting the unborn lambskins from the mother sheep is so cruel that I dare not harrow the reader's feelings by describing it. No 2 of these eye or ear witnesses, for such they pretend to be, describe these alleged cruelties in the same way. Alone through the forbidden land. I have been 3 times in Bukhara myself, and 7 years in Turkestan, and Kara, Korgon district, and the Karakul, most important breeding centers for the Karakul sheep. And never once have I seen any process entailing the slightest cruelty to animals. An energetic exchange with the ancestors coming forward here for appreciation and thanks and healing at 544, which is the Hierophant, and the 44 again of the grounding, integrating, and mastering, and the receiving of love at 321 jump. So there's that leap of faith you're being called to do. Through the Akash, the inner child, and the thanksgiving of giving thanks every day, of blessings and thanks, aligning with the wake-up call, listening and taking notes, to seek and find and show and tell. As the geese came by at that moment, at 547, the Hierophant and freedom, change, and expansion, and the 47 of heaven in your eyes, of having choices and variety and synchronicities. To use that shell, so again, listen and take note, to seek and find, show and tell, use that shell to make some noise. What weighs on your inner child today? Hear and know me and find that sweet spot. The blessings and thanksgiving every day for our abundant universe. Universe. One verse is all it takes. As the wounded warrior releases their kundalini, powering up the voice and music. Emotions of review. DNA and the wake-up call, and the thoughtfulness of the inner child, thanksgiving, and the victim mentality, and the Om of the AUM, and giving space in between to take a breath and say, leaving space for the voice and music, and the 30 of the Om and home, the 4 spaces of the AUM, and 0 for space for source, the 1, 2, 3 jump of the leap of faith, and the 4th space for space between, the home and the golden mother, the Knight of Wands with a love for life, powering up the inner child, and the golden gate of the 66, those spirals, via root number 33, the Christ vibration, standing up for oneself, to the 66, the golden gate, to the 99, an invite to compassion for 2 pillars, 2 wings, 2 flames, and 2 perspectives, at 554, which is the Hierophant and the message of the Page of Swords. And the family gatherings at dawn, welcoming committee to the new day each day, getting your wish at 555, in reviewing the higher self, the time out, with the carpenter bee and the Mary Magdalene buttercup yellow, with magic, and the Queen of Swords, Big Bird, with her priorities, and the gate to the family, which is funny too. I was just talking to my daughter about a gate because she's bringing her puppy with her. The Mary Magdalene and JC trying angles and wings. The Big Bird of capital B is the number 13, IG, and then Bird is 13, IRD. I am the God, I am the road, the path. I am the triangle of the change of the masculine in alchemy, and the 0 of the circle of the shape of the divine feminine. The 2 of the feminine and the 1 of the masculine, the high priestess and the magician. And the Queen of Swords and the 2 of Cups, 1-to-1, on the whispering bench down the salt river, on a leaf and a prayer, as the hermit takes action, running with the big birds, the hermit and the Queen of Swords, your eagle partner, as above so below, the weeping willows, in self-love, reaching out to touch someone, in self-love and new love. The red root shaman's truth, and the peace treaties, the powwows and sudden gold, the infinite heart and the holy grail, or God's rail, powering up that truth, while the beacon, or atlas number 44, takes energy from the waves, coming in through the mountain to power up the light with electricity, and the Queen of Wands reminded to stretch and lunge, especially after being still for long periods of time. She is the feminine of the orangutan, the orange forest man or veggie man. At 612 is the Lovers and the Hanging Man as the Queen of Cups, with her etheric body powering up the Om with air and water, with source support, held in the sunset with compassion for endings each day, walking the plank. And then there was a shadow on my TV coming up that looked like a planter, but one that was straight up on one side and kind of bowed out on the other side. It wasn't a planter that was straight up and down, but it was tapered. So some kind of reflection there, and veering off to the right. The silver warrior of light in the TV there, the sword and the stone, the truth and the purple moon, and the satellite. So again, the moon of the Earth and the moon of Ganymede of Jupiter is also coming up. And shower in the diamond light after taking a dip in the ocean. The endings and union and clarity on the shadow within, as the Page of Swords message of higher realms and magic, and the Madonna of the Mother, the blue holding space, presents with gifts and time for you, inspired to arc over the rainbow, the wing and the wind beneath your wings, which is your armpits, always open, air them out, the Page of Cups evolution of birthing the new heart, with magnetics, a message in the bottle that you are, the communication of speaking and being heard. Complete the cycle with the indigo star coming full circle back to the green heart of the Nine of Cups, which is the physical heart. At 622, the Lovers and the Fool and the Fool's Journey. The underlying energy of water and air and the Om, don't forget to tone, and the one of Akashic Review, the inner child, empowering up the heart, and meditating, and Mary Magdalene. The second column of the ancestors and the energetic exchange of gratitude, thanksgiving, the Golden Gate, and the Carpenter Bee, JC. And the third column of the wake-up call, awakening the collective Kundalini, and aligning with the wounded warrior, Nine of Wands, with the Nine of Cups, self-satisfaction, matching the wounded warriors with the Queen of Swords with her priorities straight. So again, matching one with one who's very happy with themselves to help teach them by example. Just like in school, pairing up kids with the other kid who can learn from them, and vice versa. So then I just wanted to pull like a card from each deck, and so I did this. This is just a quick thing at 6:33. The Lovers and the 33 of the Christ vibration. And these, I turned my phone off again. I'm just not used to where the buttons are on here. So this is the cards I pulled out from the different decks. So I was trying to pull one from each deck, but this one came out with the 4 in the middle. But you have the Metatron deck and the Nature Whispers, the Shaman Dreams, and then the Good Tarot down here. So it's just a paragraph, but the underlying energy was the gold with the 16, which is the tower again there. And I think the tower was upright in this read. Yeah, it was. The Watchers are coming up here too. And I noticed that all of the cards, they were all like individuals in the cards. They weren't like multiple people or lots of stuff going on. They were actually just individuals, as you can see for yourself. There's like that singular energy of the totem here, and then the Atlas energy here of the little seahorse there with the pearl, and then she's on her own here, and here's the little mushroom guy. So you see they're all singular in these pictures. The heart, the totem, the tree, the seahorse with a pearl, and the mountain, the 44. Grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love. So much love here. The beacon, shine on. The dust devil, moving out of stagnation with the 15. And the sky dancers, surrender with the 48, walking away within. To the 50 of complete emotional fulfillment, especially with the family, the spirit of the river, and movement toward adventure. Going with the flow, like that baby in the leaf just flowing down the river. and the galactic mushroom in the divine matrix with the 24 of the Queen of Wands, and a breakthrough here with the 8 of the dance between the masculine and the feminine, again talking about the pie before dancing. But here is the dance with Jupiter and Ganymede as spirits in the night. In the night. So Bruce Springsteen's coming up there, but Bruce. So Jupiter and Ganymede as spirits in the night come together, and Bruce, with Wilson, the soccer ball, the nut and the seed, or peeling back the cocoa nuts, in a breakthrough of the opening of the heart in both directions, to the air and to the sea and to the butterflies, and breathing a wave, which is breathe a wave is one of the titles of my songs, and 5 of air, learning to balance on toe in a beautiful pure pose, and vogue, 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 like Carrie in Vogue, 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 and 5 doves, her only catch if she fall off that fine line, or if she falls off that fine line while yo-yoing at the same time. So now we go back to the twin flame read on the table, and it's not a real long one today. So here is the 7-deck read on the table. Okay. And let's see, where am I? All right. So this was done at 9:11 p.m. when I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck, which is the main deck for the read. And at 9:20, the word stalls came up. So literally stalling. And it also could be stalls, like horses in stalls. At 9:20, which is the Hermit and the 20 of Judgment, or the wake-up call. And then I finished clarifying at 9:40, which is the Hermit and the Page of Cups, which again is that innocent love, that pure innocent love. And the major arcana here were the Shadow, which is the Devil, Guidance, which is the Hierophant, again, that came up multiple times, that Taurus energy, Luna, which is the Moon, Reason, which is the Emperor, and Alchemy, which is the Temperance card. Before the read, Abundance or the Empress came up, so here we have the Emperor and the Empress, and the Hanging Man, as well as Transition, which is the Death card. And after the read was Starseed and Reflection, which is the Fool and the Hermit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 altogether. So it's a lot of major arcana. There were 3 Pentacles, 2 Cups, and 1 Sword. So there's that 3, 2, 1 jump again, and taking that leap of faith, as it was just 3:33. It's now 3:34 on the clock. And it just turned 52:44 here, which is the Queen of Swords, learning how to receive love. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, and then after the read is the Page of Pentacles. Those were the only court cards here, the Knight and the Page of Pentacles, which can be messages or children or pets, or just that loyal, humble worker, as well as manifestations or messages or help. So we had 2 4s, 2 6s, and 2 7s. So all the numbers that came out were 4, 5, 6, 7, and then in a lesser sense, 1 and 10. So the either end was coming up and then clustered in the middle here, like you know, taking away the outliers in the mean or the median. I always forget which one's which. So the 44 of the grounding, integrating, and mastering the receiving of love, the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, and the 77 of the Sovereign, which can be a mother and daughter as well in a very earthy sense, along with the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles in the reads. There's a lot of Pentacles energy here. And then we also have 46 of the Children, the 6 of Cups, the 45 of the Grieving or Purging card, and the 56 of the 2 of Swords, being your knowing and keeping your energy clear. We also have 14 of the Temperance card, and 710, which is 0 behind the 71, which is the 3 of Pentacles for me, is the co-creation card. The code line, there was no numerology cards on the code line, although we do have some numerology cards out there. The code line was all about the number 17, coming from 4, 7, and 6. And also there's questionable 5 coming up there, so 22 could be coming up as well, which is the Fool. The 17 is the Star, and your dreams coming true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. So It's a pretty short message here. The shade of the children, so that wasn't coming up before when I did this. So the shade of the children could be coming up, right? The moody kids, or the shadow of the children. Also the Seven of Cups, which is seeing synchronicities in heaven in their eyes and having lots of choices. But again, that can be overwhelming sometimes for kids to have to make choices if they have too many. Also T4 and G5 was coming up here, or 4G also. All of those energies were coming up. But it's coming up like time out from 4G or time out for God, reflection, creation, heaven, and God is anything. It's source, it's creation, it's love. It's all the same thing. It doesn't have to be the word God. You don't have to be even religious to be in this in love energy. You don't have to be spiritual or consider yourself spiritual to be love. Time out for God or love. Reflect creation, heaven in their eyes, with gratitude for the twin flame connection. The key for God, reflecting creation. And then the 7 of the 7 days is coming up, of course. And the screen of past loves and the connections, the synchronicities and dreams, and the gratitude of shoes for the kids. So again, for the simplest of things, right? Not taking things for granted. To sift, to warm up, the 6 of Cups of the past. So again, T4, G5 was coming up as a fluorescent light, 20 watts, and plugs in. G5 was also coming as fluorescent tubular, T4, 30 watt, 4000K, cool white, again, bulbs coming up. And G57 pill also came up, gabapentin, 300 milligrams, white and yellow for epilepsy, and the power amplifier, and the turbocharger, the Garrett 57. G57 ICD-10 code for mononeuropathies of the lower limb as well. And the key for the girlfriends, so somebody might be getting a key for IV or continuous 7 or ascension, the chariot of CT and he, she after death, and the 6 of Cups, the thresh or the shoemaker's children who go barefoot here. So someone definitely may be homeless or needs shoes for the kids. There may be someone struggling, all of a sudden being put into a new situation and they have nowhere to go. So again, the key for the girlfriend, so somebody might be moving in with a girlfriend, or that energy of the he, she, but also somebody could be getting a CT or a CAT scan. And the he, she, of course, can be the dance between the masculine and feminine, but also could be someone who is more masculine than feminine, in a masculine or feminine body. And this is coming up too, in addition to or after death, regarding the 6 of Cups, which is that loving past. And the shoemaker's children going barefoot, the Thesh. The twin flames, our girlfriend's IV. The grand finale continues, or is continuous, as the chariot, of course, which is the divine feminine within the masculine ascending. The shoemaker aids the 6 of Cups, or the children, or those without. And that can just be, contributing to charities to help kids who need shoes for school and things like that, or just for the summer. But also the voodoo temple was coming up here as well. The word Ongfo came up, which meant Hounfor. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's Houn and then for, Four, which comes up as a voodoo temple. So somebody's dealing with that. Twin flame voodoo temple without human or without accent. IV or continuous divine feminine within the masculine, ascending, of course, the shadow or blue fish of happiness. So instead of the blue bird, it's coming up as the blue fish. But also the voodoo, someone may be thinking they're doing voodoo because you're twin and you're directly connected, and they don't understand that. They think you're doing voodoo on the other person. They don't understand the twin connection, that they share the same etheric body, so they don't have to do anything to be connected. It just has to do with vibration. When you come into resonance with your twin, that's when you get activated. So the 4 of Pentacles is upright as the underlying energy here. And beneath it, the 10 of Pentacles upright, the 6 of Wands reversed, the Abundance card of the Empress reversed, the Hanging Man upright, and the Transition or Death card is upright. And again, that's all in the underlying energies. If we can get this to clear up a little bit. Thank you. This is the bottom of the deck right there with the mini cards on top. So, the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, legacy, or the world at large, under the radar with the Empress reversed, perhaps in lack, hanging out in transition, or perhaps after a death, with the Divine Masculine's heart. Perhaps a wealthy or abundant family in need of a mother's love, a new perspective in transition of the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave. The Star, the Dream Girl, the Healer with Guard, coming together, the Hermit at war, a long time, and not sure they can live a normal social life now. With the King of Wands upright and the Page of Pentacles upright, perhaps a child or intern, an opportunity with Dark Knight offering love to the Queen of Pentacles and kids, and a religious leader, perhaps can't believe it. Coming together, powerless and dependent on the Fool's open heart, at first dawn, after good night's rest, the Queen of Swords speaks about healing heart and perhaps a pain in the ass. Rolling out the natural red carpet with material to create with, green and pink, a man no longer homeless, but bleeding out in great pain, now understanding the pain that she was in. And again, being able to walk in another's shoes. And again, the Old Guard is coming up here. And if you've never seen that, watch that movie. It has to do with, living forever and what that means. At 12:07, which is the Hanging Man and the Seven of the Chariot, the Queen of Swords healed her heart by healing his heart with 10 piercing truths and then removing them one at a time until there's no more blood to bleed out. Once 4 are removed, we're down to 6, and then there's a chance for peace. After 10 swords, 3 doesn't feel so bad. The Taurus reversed with Pisces or Capricorn upright, Scorpio upright, Aquarius upright, Virgo upright, Aries upright, and Cancer reversed here. With the 6 of Swords upright and a way out, the Queen of Cups upright is occasionally falling off the wagon into negative self-talk, but mostly upright here. But no boots either way. Comfortable by the water with crystals and resin and ageless. Her braided hair matches his braided crown, focusing on her heart, but still not a word. Pay attention to the red flags, which are your signs and synchronicities, and beneath that was after releasing your ex or those energies that are still in your field. At 12:21, the Three of Wands, the romantic tie, and the Page of Wands reversed frustrated with secret passion and without the keys of the Eight of Cups upright and the avoid dance, grieving receiving the postman or having received the postman and leaving flame in the fountain along with their reflection. What have they done? Crushing hearts and avoiding desserts, or tiptoeing around and hiding dessert, pretending they haven't done anything wrong. The cat's gone, no more foot massage, lost keys of Atlantis, and Zeus having punished Pegasus. Peg as us, or P, gas, and the U.S. At 12:33, hanging out with the Christ vibration, standing up for oneself, rising from the dead, in the wake-up roll call of physical activity in the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, that loyal, humble servant, and beneath that, the time out of the King of Cups of unconditional love. Surrender at dawn, deception, new moon, the wounded warrior's surrender. The good news and leading the way to energy, sunshine, and exposing the war to gain wealth. The Chariot reversed, broken, and the King of Wands reversed, recovering from exile, injury, or illness, under fire, under siege, broken and down 1 minute, the next recovering. And there's like that, living forever type of energy. And that comes up from Highlander too. Who wants to live forever? Who wants to love forever? The Spirit's connecting with me. The legacy of light and leading the way. The field taken down, but slowly and surely the King of Wands reversed is recovering. the divine masculine allowing back into his heart, willing to take the pain, the lying and spying and grieving loss and regret, the guilt and the shame of the past, and the Knight of Pentacles in physical activity after having taken a time out. The Page of Cups reversed found peace with the King of Cups reversed. Again, there's that energy of the two negatives making a positive, right? Cheering each other up, being able to understand each other's perspective. And then the energy of coming clean about guilt, and the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, traveling with the devil or their codependencies and addictions. No affections, that could be a Capricorn as well, with no affections, and that's assured. Defenseless to the energies and or attacks, and recovering with the Knight of Swords rushing in to kick ass, the rescue mission. The Page of Swords reversed, spying and lying around the world to bring peace where there is none. Juggling clowns, mounting or maintaining the balance with the divine masculine Scrooge, dissatisfied, or family is with them as the Knight of Wands rushes in to the rescue at 101. Two magicians with space between, or destined magician here. At 102, then, the next page is the Magician and the High Priestess, or higher self, and the Seven of Cups of taking steps and synchronicities and the stairway to heaven and all that jazz, dance, as the sudden events, epiphanies, and sexual exchange of the King of Cups in unconditional love with presents and gifts, and starting over, maintaining balance with the sealed divine feminine, or Navy SEAL, the Pisces upright, or world at large, and coming full circle with that Ten of Pentacles, family, business, community, legacy, or the world and heaven on earth, the temptation of the rich man's world, of the devil, and freedom from issues at work. Rejection, jealousy, refusing to be loving, the failure, falling off the wagon, under the radar, and receiving a new project from those who walked away unable to manifest, or insecure without tools, and manipulative, and working their way up, with the foundation of guidance reversed, of not taking other people's guidance or thinking outside the box. That can be divorce as well. Presenting the truth to those walking away. The falling out with the unhappy family, grieving the downturn, the slowdown. I was getting showdown too. Somebody might be watching wrestling. And a twist of fate at 116, which is the Magician and the Tower. With Taurus and Libra both reversed here, the central energy is the shadow web, and all that glitters is gold, and many options here, or merry options. Working to align, get ducks in a row, challenged by the Six of Cups reversed and the falling out of the energetic exchange and the work issues in the home, as the Emperor reversed and the Empress reversed are exposed by their kids, or Leo reversed. The Emperor and the Empress with kids at work back and forth perhaps, with the Empress or the Emperor exposing all. So if the kids didn't, maybe one of them did, or maybe they did it accidentally. But the patient angel of the King of Pentacles reversed, or the patient of the King of Pentacles reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles upright offering help to the one without any options, the King of Wands. And the Queen of Pentacles, without a leg to stand on, receiving love from the Page of Pentacles, patient angel, or Sagittarius, perhaps with a narcissistic Hierophant reversed, without big love at work, and imprisoned King of Swords, hanging out with the King of Cups, with some sudden truth. And now, crowning is the Moon reversed, the deception, and the Queen of Pentacles with Cancer in their chart, or offering passion without looking, and suffering in silence, or dealing with her sister, imprisoned, the Knight of Wands upright, recovering, and the Page of Cups reversed, with the Lovers reversed, perhaps rejected in a breakup and deception at 146, the Magician and the inner children, or outer children, loving each other, or in that falling out. And the King of Swords, Aquarius, or Star, divorced, outside the box and burdened by the weight of the world, the conflict and the spying and the knowing and keeping to themselves to recover without help after a negative past, and grieving the war widow, the Queen of Swords, in a painful ending or ending pain, and the Queen of Pentacles, Cancer, powerless, hostage of the energetic exchange, and the passion in recovering and surrendering, coming clean, getting clean, or cleaning up the actor's space, or announcing the wake-up call and healing. And soon as the Emperor reversed, perhaps being unreasonable, unable to sleep, with the Empress reversed, receiving new love or big love from an energetic exchange, or the arrows of love, or lots of back and forth of communication or travel, and perhaps sharing in a 5D connection, with the Knight of Cups reversed, rejected and vulnerable, and the wounded warrior surrendering and keeping to themselves, as the Hermit is upright with the light, holding it, as well as helping to give to others. At 158, the Magician and the Four of Swords. So at 159 is the Magician and the Five of Swords. That war energy, the war within, becomes the war without, and it is coming up as the twin flames. Now in this deck here, with the SIRIAN Starseed deck, it's very much of like a frog turning into a prince while they're juggling 3 and saving 2 for later on the ground. And it is that growth spurt as well. The frog becoming a prince, yet defenseless in the growth, right? It's like coming out of the chrysalis, being very vulnerable. And the Queen of Wands is upright, looking away. The Magician reverse may be insecure without tools, or fighting for another way to reap rewards, or the Queen of Swords is truth, and the Queen of Wands defenseless to her truth, and yet still looking away. And knowing the Queen of Swords home and disconnect or at a distance, and Gemini or Virgo reversed with Pisces or Capricorn upright, and around the twins, or how they're seen, is the alchemy or patience. The Page of Wands reversed, perhaps frustrated or uninspired in the death walk, and satisfied, as the Knight of Swords is going back to the past, rushing in to offer a future to justice, or Libra, with Sag, Scorpio, and Libra all upright right there. The block here is the Seven of Pentacles, the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower, perhaps feeling weak or needing courage and strength, the power of love to work through it. One more opportunity of the Page of Pentacles, the curious little guy, to see the Knight of Pentacles working together, aligned with the truth, the sudden events, the epiphanies, and perhaps just a lot of back and forth between the Knight and the Page of Pentacles here, and the King of Cups of unconditional love, perhaps a Scorpio, and the Knight of Cups reversed in disconnect or distance from them, perhaps jealous or feeling rejected, and the adventure here. The Knight of Pentacles proposing to hold on to their secret passion, the hostage of the King of Swords seeing new perspectives with the King of Cups and their epiphanies, the wounded warrior surrendering to come clean, and remember the kings can be just mastering of something as well, so this could be somebody mastering of epiphanies, the wounded warrior surrendering to come clean, cleaning up their act, or the wake-up call to heal hearts and exuding love, coming off the island back onto the land, as a big bomb is dropped in a fresh start, perhaps knocking them for a loop, with the Page of Pentacles upright, Hermit, reflecting with the Knight of Wands rushing in, and then it's like saving them right back, right? So one runs into the rescue, and the one who doesn't usually rescue now is rushing in to rescue them right back. And that was at 222, which is that guidance counselor show. The Divine Masculine's heart without guidance, and yet stretching and growing on their own. Patient and balanced, taking steps through the shadow web and challenged by falling out, with the Emperor reversed, perhaps an unreasonable man, about the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower, offering help to spread love and start over. Fresh, with the Page of Pentacles, the curious Hermit here, which is that Virgo energy. The Divine Masculine's heart on the stairway to heaven at 225, which is the Divine Feminine and the Knight of Wands, to recover without guidance through the valley of the shadow, challenged by a negative past and deception, and the dawn of the frog to the prince, the Emperor reversed, patient of the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower, and the Knight of Pentacles with Cancer in their chart perhaps, exuding love to start fresh with the Page of Pentacles, or curious Hermit, at 229, which is the Divine Feminine or High Priestess, and the 29 of the Three of Swords being present in the moment with gifts. So very nice read there. All right, let's see what we're going to pull today. I'm going to pull my my animals here. Not the animal deck, but the wild unknown. I haven't pulled the oracle cards in a while. So let's see what comes up for you guys. Take a deep breath. I was just seeing butterflies. I was seeing the dragonfly and the moth together, and the unicorn, and the crow, and the eagle. Look at that. Some profound players there for you. And they're all flying, a lot of birds. There's the cosmic egg. It's the crowning moment. Look at that with the unicorn. And this is all, they're both about the waking up of the collective, right? This one's the 5D gate holder of the feminine, right? Holding the gate, while the collective is awakening side by side, not top down. This is the side by side on the ground, like the ground troops doing it together, like one's not above the other. And then we have the truth egg here as well, the black egg. So you've got the crown, the throat chakra, and the unicorn, which of course is the third eye. So look at that. You got all three of them, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra. And then you have the wolf, who's stunned into submission, or perhaps they got caught and they're slinking away. Now a fish out of water, they're beside themselves and they don't know what to do. As then look what comes up. Another chakra, the sacral one, right? A crack in the seal there of the collective awakening. So then what happens? Look at that. There's the 3D gate holder coming in to seal it back up, to keep that panther out. You can't mess with our collective awakening. We got this. So you see, this is our ET friends also helping us on the outside here, keeping out those dark energies. Because of course, like a moth to the flame, the dark will always be attracted to the light. The bottom of the deck is the cobra. And in this deck, it's like the teacher, right? When the student is ready, the cobra will come and is in the underlying energy. So it's already here. It's going away and really plugged in and turned on here and activated, right? The stingray here. Who are they connected to? There's a lot of similar energies there. And this is that choice of path here, right at the crossroads, and plugging in to their teacher. So when the teacher's ready, the student came. And this happened already. And then what happened was all this, a crowning moment. And then the collective awakening on the ground, side by side, as the etheric gate holders remain out there to take care of us, speaking the truth in the purple moon, as the wolf is stunned, he can't believe his eyes. And perhaps he's just stunned into submission or paralyzed by his passions, or he got caught and now he has to slink away and he's like a fish out of water. And it's kind of like caught off guard, like this is the guard. Oh, that's so funny, the old guard. The old guard got caught off guard and the bad guys got in. They broke the seal. So then the crow had to come in. Oh, that's so weird. And the crow, there's a show that came on too about the crow's distance type of thing. The crow had to fly the crow's distance, which is the hypotenuse, right? The shortest distance between 2 points, to make sure that the dark stay out. But they got this. How cool is that? I love that one. That was really amazing. Those cards never come up boom, boom, boom like that. Really cool. And again, there's that energy of the triggers, right? Because you got the dark energy coming in, the moth who can't help themselves but be attracted to the flame, or the dark to the light as soon as they see light. And of course, the scorpion is lighting themselves up, so it makes them very apparent for the dark to come in. And then that's the dark energy from Scorpio that's leaving in the south node. And there's the energy of Ganymede, the orange core, and then Jupiter. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planet and love will steer the stars. So there's all these triggering energies to try to drop the vibration. right? They can't help themselves but be attracted to the light. And the Scorpio can't help but to put their stinger out and cause people to see us. And then we have the elephant coming in, who's then clearing the way with flame in their trunk. Perhaps they can smell them a mile away, because this could be the energy of these two. Maybe someone's making a stinky. This also can be someone, needing a jump in their car and coming in. If this is a car, it's a really heavy one, big one, to carry their flame. A big trunk. Perhaps there's a big trunk bringing their dowry or lots of gifts. And then there's the Lion King, proud lioness perhaps. But not lions and tigers and bears, but lions and carpenter bees, oh my, as the eagle dives. And look what remember that the eagle doesn't, their talons don't go below the water. The seagulls do, but not the eagles. Eagles skim across the water, but the seagulls dive under the water. That's the difference between the eagle gull and the seagull gull. Or the eagle seagull. There's like eagle seagull. They're willing to dive into the water. But look, the eagle, he doesn't dive under the water, but he is. He's going for the shark. And who just fell out? I can't believe it. And this is the carpenter bee. He fell out of whack. What happened to JC? Something happened to JC, the carpenter bee. It's funny too, because my guy didn't get back to me yesterday or today, so I don't know what happened to him. But things are out of whack, and the eagle's going under the water to get the shark from attacking. Or perhaps he's pretending to be the shark in the shadow web here. Because remember, the tarantula was at a crossroads and had to make a choice. And this is them coming in, but perhaps the eagle can't come in as himself, because then they'll, it's just the eagle. I'm not worried about them. But if they come disguised as the shark, then he knows he'll get him going to make that choice that he needs to make. And there's that whale who's just really exhausted. Maybe they need to be triggered and again, they look like they're on a raft. They need a lifeline there. And that could be the eagle is the whale's lifeline coming in. And again, we have that energy of the elephant too, where remember in my harmonic egg meditation, where the eagle or the dinosaur type of eagle, they were in love with each other, and the eagle would come down and massage the elephant's head. That was the only way they could show each other their love. So it's like the eagle also could be protecting this elephant over here, because they're exhausted too. Look, they're missing a tusk and they're kind of all disheveled, and so is the whale over here. They've been doing all this work clearing this energy for us, and they need a break. So that's where the carpenter bee or JC needed a break. And that's where the feminine had to lighten up her vibration to be the Hercules, so that she could take over for Atlas for a while and actually be able to hold it up, because obviously her arms aren't as strong as his. So there you go. There's the message. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. There they are, and there's the tarantula. I like that one. That was a very unusual read from that deck. So what are we going to use now? I'm going to pull from the energy deck. So it's like they're telling us, as soon as there's a crack in the seal for the collective awakening around the earth, they're like on it. I mean, it happens now and then, but they get it sealed right back up. And we're talking about cracks, shattering the glass, and I found a piece of glass under the fridge. Like, cracks happen. I was getting like you'd say shit happens. They're saying, well, cracks happen. And now I'm getting butt cracks and boob cracks and all kind of stuff, or cracking jokes. So they're trying to be funny. Okay. From the energy deck, what's our takeaway here? We've got the Knight of Swords and the Magician in the Mirror. So it's like the Emperor energy, which is coming up in the read. And again, he's like, what? What'd I do? And look, it's the Magician and the Mirror. Not in the mirror, but and the mirror, because he broke the mirror or something. He cracked the seal. Maybe someone's appreciative for that. Well, thank you. And he may be expecting to get yelled at, and then someone comes in and says, I just wanted to thank you for that. And like, oh, okay. And that's not usually the energy I get from that card, but I am. And then, of course, there's somebody else who may not be appreciative of it, because we got the Knight of Wands. But the Knight of Wands is upright in this read, I believe. Yep. This could be reversed. This is she doesn't have the, the nicest look on her face. She looks kind of like a little bit cold, even though she's gratitude and appreciation. And there is a rose or a flower in her hand. But the deceit is like turning that Knight of Wands upside down, and her learning to be more gracious and appreciative after dealing with the shadow side here. Maybe she's more shadow, and she's learning how to be more gracious to the Emperor here, or the Knight of Swords. So we definitely have Capricorn energy there, and perhaps Sagittarius as well. And being more gracious and gentle so they don't trigger them, because they assumed they were going to get yelled at, but she didn't this time, because this has been turned over. So just letting that anger and deceit go away. And then there's that King of Wands who always says he's tied up, or his hands are tied. And again, her shifting her way of doing things is now going to shift his way of doing things. So maybe he is the King of Wands as the Emperor, and he's no longer going to give excuses about being tied up, because now he doesn't think he's going to get attacked anymore. You follow me? These also could be two kids. They could be moody kids, because I was getting that too. And also maybe she's no longer, yelling at them for being moody, realizing they just need to be moody right now, so I'm just going to let them be. So it's, again, people shifting in the way they do things in order to change the reflection of their energy as well, and the people around them. And then exposing all, going on vacation, sun and fun and happiness and full energy there, along with the Angel of Balance, of walking away when needed and going within. The bottom of the deck is, and I got to show it, but the Patience card is next. 16 is that the Tower and triggers. With Patience, there is cornucopia and Thanksgiving every day, which that came up too. The bottom of the deck is the anxiety of the 18 and the moon. So again, the moons were coming up. Our moon and Ganymede. But I think we're mid-moon right now, aren't we? But this one might be coming up. Was the moon upright or reversed? No, I can't remember. All right, moon is reversed. So there's deception there still. But that can also be just getting up. Somebody might be anxious about having to get up really early as well. Door to healing and happiness, right? To clean up, to spring clean, cleaning out the house, opening the windows and the doors, to get rid of anxiety, because the kicking up the dust was coming up in the other cards as well from the oracle decks from the other reads, about shifting the energies by cleaning things out, changing things around, shifting the way you behave, not reacting the way you normally would. All of those things, the littlest things, are making a change right now. So it's really important to just try something different to make that change. I still want to pull another card for you guys. Which one will it be? I'm going to pull from my animal deck. They're so nice and cheery. Get my cat animal deck. All right, you guys, one more card. I know I never just pull one card, but I try to just get one card. Sometimes they just give me one card. I just like contrast, and they know that. Okay, one more. Oh, it wasn't one. It's two, though. That's not too bad. The reindeer and the caribou. The 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. you can now move forward and make great progress. Whatever you were feeling stuck in, all of a sudden the wheel's going to start moving forward. And we have pears here too. And actually I was going to go to see if I could find a couple fruit trees, but I don't think I'm going to plant them quite yet. We have the turtle swimming there too, the sea turtle. And the seahorse has, I can't tell you how many times the seahorse has come up in the past couple days. Stop to take time to review and make long-term plans, capitalizing upon your past success. It's appropriate to put yourself on the back, pat yourself, not put yourself, pat yourself on the back for all your accomplishments, but you may also need patience for the next phase to play out. So again, things are going forward, but don't expect them to go at lightning speed. And then we have the manatee here too, who wanted to come out there. Sorry about that. The colors just look very perfect together, don't they? Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career can block your progress because your trust and faith are at a slow point right now, or a low point right now. It's not the best time to start your own business or become self-employed. So again, it's saying, take the time to review and make long-term plans, capitalizing upon your past successes. It's appropriate to pat yourself on the back for your accomplishments, but you may need patience for the next phase. So it's saying it's here, but it's not going to happen quickly. So take that time to just be careful and look back at what has worked for you to incorporate that when it is ready to go forward. And there is a positive change here in your life. You can move forward with great progress. It's just not going to be fast. That's good. Okay, you got the turtle and you got the mantis. They're not going fast. And the caribou don't look like they're going quick either. Enjoy your summer is what it's saying. And just, plan. When you think about it, perhaps just get yourself organized, but you don't have to push forward. So if you can't go forward, you know why. Don't get frustrated. It's not quite time yet. And then we have the 5 of winter on the bottom with the dogs here. Perhaps a collie and a shepherd type of energy here. But the collie is the dog coming up. Your current path isn't leading you towards the happiest possible outcome. So why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. And that's funny too, because my daughter, I don't have a dog in my house, and my daughter's bringing her dog with her. I'm not sure how long. I'm going to be here for a while. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments for the doggie. Oh, there's a cat. I don't think there's any cats in my name. Oh, the cats, they like to go under my deck. I haven't heard any in a long time, so that's good. And I'm losing my voice, and I have a new doggie. Maybe there is a cat out there, and that's why my voice just went. But we have a new doggie back neighbor who'd be perfect for a teddy. So Siamese cat, you may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. So again, the underlying energy may have been a little bit of a tug of war, but not a big deal here. Just be aware that other people usually are have their own agendas just like you do, which is normal. So don't assume that they want to do everything your way when they want to come together with you, which is fine. But remember, stand up for yourself and love yourself first, and then give that love to others once you have your fill. They're good. Do I need to read you the first card? The crown, the cosmic egg. Well, it's the end of the deck. It's the cosmic egg. It's the crown chakra. The 7th. Let's see. It says completion, harmony, the infinite within the finite. The cosmic egg is the final card in the Journey of the Animal Spirit deck, and it represents the unfolding of cosmic consciousness. This state emerges after we have tread the path for quite some time, and through self-effort and grace we experience self-realization. A sense of contentment and oneness spontaneously arises within us, and the veils of our self-limiting beliefs are lifted. When the essence of the cosmic egg has not been activated, we may feel as if we will never get there, or that we travel alone, disconnected from others. Even if our encounter with this card is brief, appearing as a momentary glimmer or flash of interconnectedness, its potent energy stays with us. The cosmic egg is a remedy for the fragmentation of modern life. It's through the power of this card that we are reminded of the cosmic contract written at the beginning. We hold on to life, and life holds on to us. The journey is complete, but it does not end. So that seventh chakra is the subtle essence of the cosmic egg, resides at the crown chakra at the top of the head, called the Sahasrara. One of the aims of yoga and meditation practice is to channel energy from the base of the spine upward towards the Sahasrara, and each of the 6 lower chakras plays an important role along this journey, and once the final epicenter of consciousness is activated, it is said to radiate the light of 1,000,000 suns. And I was just getting 1,000,000 suns of the masculines. Okay? Really nice energy, actually. And I'm surprised on this positive with no sleep. So it's really good. So remember your water, your rest, your joy, your nature. And go do your thing. You got this. Rise and be loved. Love and rise. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.